Hello my friends, my name is Nin, welcome to Nin Yoga. Today's class is a class especially designed for those of you who might be suffering from a condition known as a tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. Now, tennis elbow typically affects the outer side of the elbow and golfer's elbow typically affects the inner side. It is when the tendons that join up with your bone become inflamed, and anytime you might grip or twist your forearm, it might hurt and become uncomfortable. So this class is designed to help you with a few exercises so that over time this pain is relieved and so that the muscles become stronger. Typically, this doesn't actually affect people who play tennis or play golf. It's just the form because a lot of those sports involve the gripping of a racket or a club, and this can really affect, as you can imagine, your elbow area, which is exerting a lot of pressure on it. So the equipment we'll need today is a strap, some weights, or you could just use some cans, baked bean can, 2 of those, and a pillow. And so we begin. What I'd like you to do first is interlace the hands and stretch out your arms in front of you. And feel that stretch in your wrists, which join to the elbows. Then bring them into your heart, slowly rotate, and then stretching your forearms out in front of you, still interlacing the hands. Exhale. Just sitting here for a second, finding your center. Now here, I'd like you to bring your hands up in front of you like this, grabbing hold firstly of the left hand with your right and just bringing your fingers towards your wrist. So here, just stretching out, and you should feel a particular stretch along here. And then we'll let go and repeat that on the other side, bringing up the right hand this time so that your arm is parallel with the mat. Grabbing hold of your hand with your left hand and bringing the fingers in towards you. Let go now, and we're going to try just another variation of a wrist stretch. So inhale now. This is just to get your hands warmed up, and have your hands facing outwards this time, holding on with your right hand to your fingers again, and then bringing the wrist in towards you, just having your thumb this time on the outside. So the reason we're warming up the wrists is so that when we need to do a few more exercises, there's blood circulating and we're not applying too much pressure onto them without them being ready. Exhale. Inhale again, bringing your right arm up this time, turning your right hand out so that your thumb is facing outside, bringing your fingers together, and then with your left hand, bringing your right fingers towards your wrist or your forearm. And then let go. The next move we're going to do is a bit of, we could call it massage therapy. So grab your pillow here, placing firstly your right arm down onto the pillow. I'd just like you here to massage those tendons in your elbow. Just massage depending on where the pain feels. Gently, either on the outside if you have tennis elbow, or on the inside if you've got golfer's elbow. Just find really relax here, making sure your forearm is supported. Maybe opening up your hands. Just give yourself a gentle massage. I hope that starts to feel a little more relieved from the pressure. And then we'll swap sides, so bringing your pillow over to the other knee, placing your elbow down onto the pillow, and then again, just really find where the areas need the blood brought to them. And give yourself a little massage here. And maybe bring your thumb behind your elbow. See if that feels interesting. So, finding the pressure point here and give it a rub, bringing blood to the joint, to the tendon. And release. So take your pillow and just bring it. Put it to one side here. Now the next exercise we're going to do is grabbing your strap, or it could be a towel, or it could be a dressing gown, the belt of a dressing gown. So here, just fold it in half, really, so that it's almost hip width apart, your grip. And just bringing the strap out in front of you. Just begin here to roll your right wrist forward and your left wrist back, and then repeat on the other side, bringing your left wrist forward and your right back. And start to now begin to pull out as though you're squeezing a towel on the side. Just here, exercising, and keep that pressure pulling on the strap so that you're pulling in an outwards motion, but you're moving your wrists forward and back in alternative motion. Now this is the first of a couple of exercises we're now going to do with our wrists. So we'll do a couple more of these. And lower down the belt. Put it to one side. And then grabbing, or rather just lifting up with your weights or bean cans, if that's what you have, or just a tin can. Now grabbing hold of these, just bring them up so that they're parallel with the ground, or your arms are parallel with the ground. And here, we're just going to lift the weights or the cans upwards and then dropping them downwards. Upwards and downwards. Now if you're really suffering here, it might be an idea to rest your forearm on a surface. Just make sure that your forearm's straight when you do these, and that you've got space so that your hand is overhanging, and you lift up and down with the weights. And you may need to do these one at a time, because you can soon start to feel the effects here in not just your wrists but your entire arm. But this will be exercising those muscles that link all the tendons and the joints and the muscles in your arm. I'm just going to do 5 more of these. Lifting up and down, bringing the weight towards your forearm and your wrist, and then up. It's a good workout for the arms. And then release. And we're going to take that into another variation. So again, you might just notice the difference now in your arms. Lifting up the weights, but this time having your forearms facing the sky. And then bringing the weights towards your wrists and then dropping them down to the earth. Now, this is kind of hard, so you might find yourself slightly having a micro bend here in your elbows, and that's absolutely fine. That's what you should be doing. So just making sure again that you feel this, you're not in too much pain, and if you need to, resting your elbow on a flat surface and then carrying on with your exercise. And one last time, and then slowly bring the weights down to the mat and move them over to one side. And you might just feel a little exercise in the arms here, so just begin to wiggle your shoulders around, letting the blood spread. Now, the next pose we're going to do is a pose it's actually called cow face pose, and I've got another video on how to do this and it talks you through it. So if you want to check out that video, link to the link in the top left here. Now, I'll go through this with you again, just so it's easy enough to understand. Right, so grab your belt. Now, you probably will need a belt, so grab hold of it in maybe your left arm and bring your right arm out to the side, and then bending your right elbow, grab hold of your back and come down, bending your left elbow, and grab onto your clothes here if that feels best. If you want to use your belt, which many people will, grab hold of the belt in your other hand, in your right hand, gripping on with the left still, bending your right elbow, and maybe that pressure here will allow you to reach the pose. So do whatever feels intuitive. Please don't do this if there's pain. Just sit here for another few seconds, lifting your chest forward and putting pressure on that belt. Beautiful, well done. And then let go, bring your right hand down, your left hand down, and then swap sides. So this time, clasp the belt in your right arm and bring both of your arms out to the side, and bending your left elbow above you, coming down and reaching the top of your spine with the palm of your left hand, and then bringing your right arm across to try and join them in the middle. Now here, grab holding of clothes if that's what feels right for you today, or if you like, coming round with your left arm, and just make sure you've got enough of the strap to do this. Coming round with the left arm, bending over your left shoulder now, and then holding on to the strap, opening your chest and just applying a pressure here onto the strap. Exhale, letting go of the strap here, putting it out to one side, and then we're going to take a tabletop pose here. Just begin to circle around, just getting some blood into your back here. And then tucking the toes under, I'm going to give you some options here. Come back to sit in a kneeling position. And then what we're going to do is bringing our arms out in front of us as we did at the beginning of the class, bringing our palms down so that the fingers are facing down and the thumbs are facing inwards, and then we'll put our wrists on the mat. Now this might feel enough for you, but if you want to apply a bit more pressure, you might come back onto your knees, bring your seat back to your heels. Maybe you'll even be able today to untuck your toes, but do whatever feels right for you in this stretch. Please don't do it if you feel a lot of pain here. Come back up onto your toes, or come back up into a tabletop type position. Beautiful, well done. Now releasing the hands, come back into a kneeling position, and then just with your wrists, wind them out the other way. And then we're going to bring our palms out in front of us again, this time opening up out to the front, having the thumbs facing outwards, and then bringing them down to the mat. Come up into the tabletop type position if that's what feels right, or tuck the toes under and come back into a kneeling position if that's available to you today. Now this feels nice for me right here, but if you want to, untuck the toes and come right back down into a kneeling position. So again here, we're stretching out the forearms, relieving pressure from that repetitive movement that's caused the tendons to get inflamed. Wonderful. Okay, and coming back up into a seated position, just shaking out our wrists here a little bit, or maybe just revolving them. Don't shake them too hard if that's not available. And then we're going to come into a puppy pose. So back into our tabletop position, check in. Are your feet hip width apart? Are your hands below your shoulders? And then begin to walk forward. I'm just going to move this pillow here because it's in the way. Begin to walk forward with your palms on the mat, opening up your chest. Bring your forehead down to the mat and stretch out your forearms and your wrists here. Always try to push up to the sky with your seat. Wonderful. Now begin to walk back into a tabletop position. Good. Resume into that tabletop, and then bringing your seat back to your heels. Rest your forehead on the mat. Open up your knees, having your big toes touching each other as we come into our final resting pose, child's pose. So now just observe the difference you now feel, particularly in your arms. Breathing in, using your breath, taking it down to the areas of pain, and visualizing your breath as though it's healing that pain, making sure oxygen goes to that area. Just let gravity do the work here, and just rest for a few more moments. This is your time on the mat and the time that you've taken out of your day to help heal your body. Thank yourself for this time you're spending. And from here, slowly lifting up into a kneeling position. And we'll come back into our seated, easy pose, the pose that we started with. Just shrug your shoulders, straightening up your spine, keeping your eyes closed here. Checking your heart is above your pelvis, your head is above your heart. Inhale, stretching up to the sky, bring your palms together, and we bow and say Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today on the mat for this practice. If you have any ideas for any other videos, please comment or get in touch with me. And this class was inspired by a good friend of mine, Val, who runs a YouTube channel called Home Workout Health Hub. And on that channel, you can check out loads of fitness videos. Now, if I could just ask you one last favour, and that is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would mean so much to me because it would allow me to keep bringing you free yoga to the internet. So So please, if you can, take some time out. If not, no worries, and I hope to see you again on the mat soon. Namaste.